And today we have Kimberly George, the Global Head of Product Development and Innovation from Sedgwick's. Welcome, Kimberly.
Thank you so much for having me.
And welcome to Brisbane and Australia.
Yeah, I've been able to spend much of 2022 here in Australia, and I'm so happy to be in Brisbane today.
Now, you're not from these parts. Where have you travelled from to be here today?
I have come from Chicago, so the US of A.
And a beautiful part of the US too.
Well, in the summertime it is. Winter's a little cold.
A little cold?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're very, well, Brisbane's put on a beautiful day for you today, so you can enjoy it. So today, you were talking at the conference about the power of influence and how trust can improve claims, outcomes, and experience. So what is influence and how is it powerful?
Yeah, so I think that there's two parts of influence we should consider in personal injury. One is our leadership style. With the multi-generational workforce, whether you're a more senior case manager or you're a new entrant, you want to have an innovation, or not an innovation, a leader that leads by influence, that allows you to have an engaged approach to your team, your own journey, and leading with influence, it's deeply rooted in empathy, and I think that aligns with personal injury. And then if you have a leadership team that is leading by influence, I think it really drives that influence approach with our case managers. And if you're influencing somebody, they trust you. They can understand that you're an advisor. And I think influence helps make very important decisions for our customers around their health and productivity. And so I think that influence is both from our leadership, but then in the services that we deliver are so important to achieve the outcomes we need to.
Now, I feel very sorry for leaders today. A very challenging environment with, multi-generational workforce, a lot of pressures, external, internal, customer needs are evolving. So how natural is influencing as a management style in your experience, or to what extent do you think it has to be learned? Or, I know it's 20 questions, but what support should organisations be giving to enable leaders to build influencing skills?
Yeah, I think that historically there was a command and direct style. It was, this needs to be done. And I think as leaders evolved, whether it was through all of the leadership books or our training or for those of us that have been in the industry 30 years or so, we really had to manage our style to be able to get the results. And I think in leading with influence came in time. And your question of can it be learned or is it innate? I think all of us have to learn aspects of it. I think maybe the next generation of leaders will have had their leaders lead with influence, and so it may be more natural. I think that unless you are truly directing a team as a part of a larger organization, you have to influence. Even if you're CEO, your team has to come together to drive those results, and they won't necessarily follow through on something just because an executive says. So I think it can be learned, and I think it has to be practiced.
Yes.
And it takes time to master influence.
And one of the benefits of effectively influencing is building trust. Talk to me about the power of trust.
Yeah, the power of trust will come with good listening, with motivational interviewing and listening again, and engaging consistently, and being able to have that open, transparent communication. And I think that when you become a trusted advisor, when you are able to listen and take in the information and collaborate then with your customer, with your team on solutioning, that's when you get the success. And that's when you'll be able to see the results that ultimately can come in our industry in the personal injury outcomes, whether that's on duration, costs, treatment within evidence-based guidelines or return to work guidelines, etc.
And looking in your crystal ball, is the future of claims management a bright one?
Well, I think it is, because I believe that this is a career destination. And I say that because the nurse inside of me believes that caring for people is something that the future generation wants. Caring for our society, caring for DEI, caring for the inclusive environments, caring for people who are at a time where they need help. And so we are in the helping industry. I think insurance is an amazing career destination. I know I've been in it over 30 years and not only was a nurse, but ran mergers and acquisitions at Sedgwick, and am now in product development and innovation. And I say that not because of me specifically, but we can be anything in insurance. So I believe it's bright. I think that we have to be willing to challenge ourselves and be willing to change and allow that next generation to help us make that happen.
Kimberly, thank you so much for your discussion today and your attendance and contribution to the conference. And thank you for coming to Australia. We've loved it.
Oh, I really appreciate that ability for cross-border collaboration and learning. So thank you for having me today.
It was lovely. Thank you.
Take care.